This is one of the most overpowered iron farms in all of Minecraft Java Edition. In just 20 minutes, this farm will get you over 8 stacks of iron, which is 24 stacks of iron every hour. With that, here's a materials list, and if you want to download this world, that is down in the description. First things first, for this farm, you're going to want to build it in a nice open area like this, making sure there's no caves or mountains nearby for the iron golems to spawn at. Also, you're going to want to make sure you're at least 150 blocks away from the closest village or village entity. That also includes any villagers, beds, or workstations, maybe a trading hall, anything like that. Make sure you're far enough away. With that, we can get started on the actual farm, and the first thing you want to do is dig a 25 by 25 hole in the ground. Now, once you've got that done, come to any one of the 4 corners, and you want to count in diagonally by 7 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Now on this 8th block, you want to break that down and then make yourself an 11 by 11 square down here. All right, so it should now look like this. And if you've done it correctly, you're going to have 7 blocks on all of the sides around this square. Now, really quickly, if your farm isn't working, if something's not lining up, or if you just want to make sure that the farm works before you build it, you could download this world. There's a link down in the description. With that, now let's work on the killing chamber for the iron golems. So first things first, you can go ahead and remove all of these temporary blocks over here. And then you want to run back down towards this middle square. Now, what you want to do is build in 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks just like that. And then on this 5th block, you want to dig yourself out a 3 by 3 square in the middle here. So perfect. There we go. You can then remove these temporary blocks. And now outside of this square, you should have 4 blocks to all of the sides. Now from here, what you want to do is take this down 6 more blocks for a total of 7 blocks deep. All right, so there we go. We've now got a 3 by 3 by 7 block deep hole. Now go up to the top here and you want to count down 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And on this 5th block right here, you want to place down 3 signs right there and then followed by 3 signs on it like that. And then 2 more signs. Now you can place a 3rd one. It's not actually going to change it. It's just when we go here now and we place that bucket of lava, it's going to flow over these signs, but it's not actually going to flow over this sign. So have this here, don't have this here. It really doesn't make a difference. Now that you have the lava, that's going to be killing the iron golems. What we now need to do is collect the loot. So what you want to do is break yourself out a nice little collection room over here. Doesn't matter which side you do or how big it is. Just make it comfortable enough to be able to walk around. All right, so I'm going to do 1 more block here, and I think that should be good. Now, what you want to do right outside of this 3 by 3 square is place down 2 chests, and it doesn't matter which side you do it on. And now coming over here, what you want to do is place down all 9 of your hoppers, making sure that every single hopper is leading into another one into this chest. Make sure they are not leading into the ground. There we go, just like that. And now what you can do is just place any block right there, and then go ahead and place some glass over top of those chests. So now it should look like this. Now I've gone ahead and prettied this up, although obviously you can do it however you want. Coming up here, just as a quick demonstration, when an iron golem spawns and falls down this 3 by 3 hole, he's going to burn to the lava, but because of the height, only he is going to burn. His drops are not going to. And then eventually when he does die to the lava, all of his iron will go down into this chest. So now I'd also recommend placing down a torch just to make sure no mobs spawn down here and kill you. And now we actually need to get out of this room. So going from this chest in the opposite direction, you want to go 27 blocks. So that's going to be 1 right there. That's number 2. So I have to go another 25 blocks in this direction. All right, and there we go. So that is 27 blocks from the chest. And now all you want to do is dig straight up and place some ladders with the trapdoor to get in and out of the collection area. So we've now got the iron golem killing area done, but we want to make sure that no water is going to flow down there. So what you want to do is place 3 temporary blocks at the back there, followed by 9 fence gates on them. And if you keep opening them up, you're just going to want to shift and place them down. You can then go ahead and remove your temporary blocks and then go ahead and open up all of those fence gates. However, this one in the middle is not actually necessary, so you can go ahead and break that. And you should now have 8 fence gates in a circle here. So there we go. We've got that done. We're now going to move on to the villager portion of the farm. Really quickly though, if you're enjoying, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for weekly farm tutorials. Now for this, you can either do 1, 2, 3, or 4 sides. And obviously every side you have will make the farm way more efficient. So what you're going to want to do is come to any one of the sides and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. Now on this 7th block, you want to place one down right there. and then place down 25 blocks on the ground, making sure this is some solid block that mobs can spawn on. There we go. Now what you want to do is extend this 6 more blocks backwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you want to fill in this whole square so you have a 25 by 7 rectangle on the ground. So there we go, we've got that built. And if you're wondering, that's why we made that tunnel so far away, just to make sure that we can still get in the farm and this isn't going to take over. Now, what you're going to want to do around this platform is just make a nice little 2-high wall on these 3 sides, but you're going to want to leave this side completely open. And there you go. So you should now have 3 walls around this rectangle, again, leaving this side open. Now, once you get to here, what you want to do is place 2 blocks like that, and then go ahead and continue this wall 2 blocks high until you get to this corner. And this is not only going to contain all of the water in the farm, but also contain all of the iron golems and make sure they're not able to escape. Now, really quickly, I just want to explain to you guys why we kind of have the farm going down in layers like this. So later on, what we're going to do, you don't have to do this right now, but you're going to take some water and place it all the way down here. And since we have the farm layered, all of these buckets of water here are going to flow the iron golems and push them all the way towards this center hole. So we don't have to place water buckets there and there and there and there. We can just do 1 bucket all the way at the top. But I'm going to get rid of this now because, like I mentioned, you don't need to do this just yet. Now, one slight problem with this is sometimes iron golems are going to spawn here and they actually get stuck, which is very annoying. So an easy way to prevent that is by taking 5 fences and placing them just like that. And this will prevent the iron golems from getting stuck. They shouldn't be able to get stuck on these blocks, but if they somehow are, just go ahead and place a couple more fences on those blocks. Okay, so we've got this done. We're now going to work on the box that the villagers are going to spend the rest of their life in, you monster. So for this part, what you want to do is go over to this corner block and then count 1 block in, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, and go ahead and place down a block right there. Now what you want to do is build up 6. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now what you can do is go ahead and break down all of those blocks. They're just temporary. Now from here, what you want to do is count over. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. And then you want to go 2 blocks in this direction. So you should have a 4 by 3 square here. Now on these back blocks, the side closest to the fence, you're going to want to place down your beds. Make sure that the white part of the bed is facing towards the middle. And then what you want to do is just place down your 4 beds right here. There we go. Now that you have this, what we're going to do is just make a nice little house around this. Just some 2 high walls to make sure that when we get the villagers inside of here, they are obviously not going to be able to escape. You're also going to want to extend this 1 past, so it should now look like this. However, we also want to make sure that iron golems do not spawn up here. So what you're going to do is take all of your slabs and you want to place them not only on these blocks here, but you also want to take them and place them over top of the beds. And you want to place them over top of these blocks just like that. So there you go. That's 1 villager area pretty much done. You now want to copy the exact same steps over on this side. All right, so we've got the villager areas done. We're now going to work on the zombie section so the villagers are scared and they spawn an iron golem. So for this, what you want to do is go in the middle of both of these. To find that, what you want to do is come to this block right here and then count over 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you want to count in 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then count up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That should take you right to here. You're perfectly in the middle of them and you are at head height. Now, what I'm going to have you guys do is place down a piece of soul sand right there. And then as well, you're going to want to make yourself a nice little 2-high wall around this piece of soul sand. And this is where the zombie is going to be sitting. Then place a bucket of water at the bottom. And then go ahead and place 4 slabs on top of those blocks. 2 temporary blocks like that. And then a slab at the bottom of that block right there, and you can break both of those. Now here's how this section works. Once we get a zombie inside of there, and later on we're also going to have our villagers inside of here, as you can see the villagers are being scared, and so this is going to spawn an iron golem. However, if they are constantly scared and they have no chance of sleeping, after 20 minutes they're going to stop spawning. However, with this setup, as you can see when it turns nighttime, the villagers are able to hop in and out of bed really quickly. This happens because this zombie right here is going to bob up and down, up and down, up and down. He's going to be hiding underneath of this slab for a split second, which allows them to hop into bed, allowing more iron golems to spawn 24/7. I hope that made sense. So now that we've got that done, you can hop down here and break all of these temporary blocks. And now there's 2 more little things that we have to do to this area. The first thing you want to do is come up here and then go ahead and place a bunch of slabs on top of these blocks. Just again, making sure that iron golems are going to spawn inside of the farm. They're not going to spawn up here. Now, this doesn't have to be slabs. It can also be something like trapdoors or glass, but slabs are pretty cheap and pretty easy. There we go, placing those on every one of those blocks. And now what you want to do is come off to the side, make yourself a nice little infinite water source. There we go. And then you want to take 1 bucket of water and place it right there, and then skip a block, place it there, and that just, it uses less water. Doesn't really matter. And then you want to keep doing that until you have filled up the entire back wall. All right, so just getting the last bucket of water down. There we go. And now, like I mentioned earlier, all of the water is going to be flowing towards the center. Now, this part is done, and if you want, you can skip ahead to where we add the zombie and the villagers. However, if you want better rates, I would highly recommend taking everything that we just did over here and copying it on all 4 of the sides. Now, again, you can just have 1, you can have 2, 3, but I would highly recommend having 4 as it'll make the farm the most efficient possible. All right, and now as you can see, we've gotten all 4 of the sections built the exact same, and the corners are able to perfectly link up so no iron golems can escape. Now, the next thing we're going to work on is getting the zombie inside of here and the villagers inside of these areas. So the first thing you want to do is make yourself a nice little temporary staircase to get up and down from this bed area. And then what you want to do is go up to your villagers. Now, it might be difficult to get all of those villagers, so I'd highly recommend getting a couple and then throwing some food at them and letting them breed. Now, to get them up there, it's actually more simple than you might think. All you want to do is wait for it to turn nighttime and then let them out, and they're naturally going to run up to those beds and sleep. Just when you're doing this, make sure you have no other beds in the area, otherwise they might run towards that. But pretty much, we got 2 of them here. Just wait for all 4 of them to run up into these beds. Now, perfect. Once they're all up here, what you want to do is take 4 slabs and place them right here. Do not place them at the top. You want to place it at the bottom because mobs can spawn on top slabs, but they cannot spawn on bottom slabs. So there we go. All 4 of these villagers are now going to be trapped inside of here. And now you can go ahead, remove your temporary staircase, and then repeat that same process for every villager area that you have. All right, so once you've gotten all of your villagers into their beds, the final thing we need to do is get a zombie inside of this area. Now for this, you're again going to want to make a staircase up. As well, go ahead and break that slab right there, and then grab a trap door and place it down so the zombie wants to walk in. Now what you're going to do is just head down this staircase and get a zombie to follow you up the staircase, and then we're going to lead him into that box. All right, so taking this zombie, you're just going to kind of run around the back here, and the zombie should be able to walk in on his own. Perfect, there we go. Now, once he's in there, try not to get hit by him like I just did. As you can see, iron golems are now starting to spawn. What you want to do is remove this trap door, make sure to put a name tag on him so he doesn't despawn, and then close up the slab, and of course, do that for all of your sections. As you can see, the villagers are scared, but they're still able to periodically sleep, which, like I mentioned earlier, will allow the iron golems to spawn 24/7. And just like that, you can see a ton of iron golems are spawning in this farm, and they're all getting pushed towards that center hole. Now, if I hop into spectator mode really quickly and fly down, you can see that they're all going to burn to that lava. And then, of course, all you have to do is stand here, and all of the drops are going to go down inside of this chest. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for weekly tutorials. As well, again, you could download this exact world down in the description, and I'd recommend checking out one of the videos on your screen right now for even more great content.